gone, and I'm left behind.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the song What I Wanted, and this one is an interesting case for an Eloy because, most of the songs on here, pretty much all of them, are just me doing all of the instrumentation and everything. This song, though, is the exception to that rule because in this song, I teamed up with Corey, my friend Corey from Blue Autumn, who did an amazing remix of My Siren from the first album. If you haven't heard that, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, oh my gosh, because you get that as a free track. He is an amazing musician, and if you don't know about him, go check out Blue Autumn Music. You're going to love it. He does some great stuff, and he brought this to me. He said, you know what, I came up with this song, this music. He came up with a whole arrangement and everything, and he said, but I'm not a singer, so I need someone to put some lyrics on this and put some stuff on this. And I feel deeply honored that he trusted me enough in order to take his music and do something really fun with it. So this is the first, hopefully, of many collaborations that I have with Corey, and this is What I Wanted. Now, funny enough is that it actually started off as a love song. This is the song I was talking about in the last video, but it actually started off as a love song called Just the Start. You can scroll down and you can hear the demo for that I had kind of recorded. It's not mastered or anything, but it's there. But in this case, we ended up wanting to take it from a love song to something that was a little bit more broken, even though the music itself sounds kind of happy, which is where my mind went. The intent behind it was that it was going to be more about a breakup, more about like confusion, that sort of thing. So this is where I kind of took my writing chops and I took a song and I flipped it on its head and made a completely different song. And it's really fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this. So What I Wanted ends up being, in the grand scheme of kind of the album, is, you have tunnel vision. I'm single visioned. I'm gonna be a success. One more for obscurity, which is I'm working, I'm getting it all ready. Hello is I meet somebody and they intrigue me, but I'm better off alone. I should probably just keep doing this myself. But you know what? What am I really scared of? That's fear of flight. Maybe I should just go ahead and go for it. And in flying high as you're so happy. There's a reason why now it's followed up by What I Wanted, because this song is about essentially getting in your own way again, because the protagonist of this album is very, very stubborn. So even though you were at these huge heights of happiness, now you're like, you know what, maybe I don't need you. Maybe I can do this all by myself. Because I'm stubborn and I want to break up with you before you break up with me. That was the idea that I went with this song. And yeah, oh my God, I really, really like this song. It's super funky. Corey did an amazing job with the music. Let's go over the lyrics, though. I'll stop rambling. So the first verse is, whose idea was this? I bet it was mine. Because the idea is that this is not necessarily talking to anybody. It's kind of talking to yourself. Is this what I wanted? And kind of trying to convince yourself that this is what you want. Another day, another broken heart. I guess I'll have another glass of wine. This isn't the first time that you've stood in your own way of happiness. I only have myself to blame. Nah, because this is what I want. So, already kind of throwing away the idea that there's anything wrong with what I'm doing, even though this is completely wrong. Then we get into the pre-chorus, which is, because you're gone and I'm left behind. Now's the time to say goodbye, and that's fine. That's fine, because this is what I wanted. And this is what I wanted is the pure chorus, even though the pre-chorus kind of stands out more, which is interesting with the way that the song ended up getting written. So now let's go to the second verse. Looking back at what we had, Bad blood boils to the point that it was bland. This is the second verse saying, like, I'm looking back at our relationship and I'm seeing we had so many fights that fights were basically all we were. Like, we were having fights and it was boring, that there was nothing earth-shattering, nothing bright. And now that you're not weighing me down, I can reach new heights. So, again, this is not all necessarily true, but in the mind of the protagonist, this is what he's telling himself so that he can convince himself that this is all okay. So he's like, there was nothing great about this. It wasn't so special. And now without her, I can go even higher now. So yeah, I mean, it's the idea of, when you can convince yourself of some terrible, terrible things. It's a bad skill to have. Don't have this skill, as a matter of fact. It's bad to be able to convince yourself that bad things are actually good. You don't want that. So the second half of the second verse is, do you remember the time when I asked you if you love me and you didn't respond? No wonder this is where we are. So the idea behind this, too, is not even like that every time I would have said that I loved you, you didn't say it back. It's like, do you remember that one time? Again, nitpicking, finding excuses. Remember that one time that I told you I loved you and you didn't respond? Remember that? That's why. So then we get to the second pre-chorus, which is, 'cause you're gone, but I left you. You didn't leave me behind. And now's the time to say goodbye, and that's fine. And that's just fine. So this time, you notice the first time it's, and I'm left behind. This time is, and I left you. You didn't leave me behind. Slowly but surely convincing yourself and myself. I'll say myself because I wrote the song from a first person point of view. Convincing myself that this is all what I wanted. So, and then this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. You didn't do this to me because this is what I wanted, right? So, I like it. Then we get to the bridge, which is, you'll never read this letter. I was kind of, throwing out the idea that everything that we were saying was him kind of writing it. There's a lot of therapy in keeping a journal and writing down your thoughts. So you'll never read this letter, wouldn't give you the satisfaction. I burned everything that was yours. That's better than inaction. Yeah, so I could sit around doing nothing. Instead, I'm going to burn down everything. Now, is that better than inaction? No, it'd be better to not burn everything down. It'd be better if you did nothing. But again, justifications all around. So then we get to another chorus, and this time it's, and now I'm leaving you behind, instead of the I'm left behind and I left you, you didn't leave me. It's I'm leaving you behind. And then whose idea was this? Oh yeah, it was mine. And it's said kind of around that funky part of the song so that you're like, boom, bing, bing. Anyway, it's really awesome. And then at the end, I do this really cool thing where I kind of harmonized with myself and I had the overlapping. I had the chorus, the pre-chorus, and me doing kind of ad-libby things all going on at the same time. I think it's really good. I'm not really saying anything new there, but I really like the way that it ends with everything kind of overlapping with each other. So great song, though. What I Wanted is probably one of my faves on the album. I love collaborating, and this is kind of just a great example as to what can come out of a great collaboration. So I'm going to end it there, and I will see you guys in the next one for I Am Neon.
This is what I wanted, right?